Okay, this is gonna be the tutorial on how to get started with your digital painting drawing, and basically all we're gonna be doing now is we're just going to add your drawing, and then lay out the the colors that you want to use. So the very first thing you're gonna do is you got to upload your image onto the Photoshop, but just double click on your two images just to double check you have the correct orientation with your image, and they look fine the way it is. So some of you may need to go in the preview window, go to tools. You might need to rotate it left and right. Okay, because for example, if your image is upside down, then obviously you need to flip it left and right. So tools, rotate left until you get the way you want, and then you can just close it, and that's going to auto save it for you. Alright, but all you're doing now is you're just going to add your images onto Photoshop. You're just going to click and drag onto Photoshop. So I've actually added two images to mine. So I'm going to do this real quickly. So I'm adding this first image here, and then I'm adding the second image here. Alright. Most of you probably don't need to do this because you probably have your drawing all in one image. I actually did two separate images, so I had to add the second one. So I'm just resizing. I'm just holding shift so I add the correct orientation. If I don't hold shift, it's going to stretch and skew like this. And I'm just adding the second image here. And I'm going to just erase the background of this other image. So we got to rasterize this image, and I'm just going to erase it. Alright, but like the nice thing about Photoshop is there's so many different ways you can manipulate your image. In this case, I'm combining two images together. That's one way of doing it, and there's like several different ways you can combine them together. Alright, so I got this image here. This looks pretty good. So I'm going to just combine these two layers. I'm going to do layer and just merge down. And again, most of you probably don't need to do this, so you don't need to worry about it. But right now you're gonna have your sketch, your rough sketch. All right, and depending on where you are in your rough sketch, like I spent a lot of time with details on this person here, and not so much details on the background. If you've done more details with your drawing, then you're not going to do as much digital painting, or you shouldn't really need to do as much digital painting. But it's up to you though. If you want to have more of a digital paint look, you can have that look. But it's up to you. Now the next part you're going to do is now you have your image on your background layer. So you want to do Command A as an apple, and this is going to select your entire image here. All right, you're going to do just make sure this is set to white, so the white all the way in the corner for your background color. And then you want to do Command X as an X-ray. That's going to cut out your image, so it's going to use this white background that you had. So the reason why I want you to make it white is because you want a white background. And then you want to hit Command V as in Valentine, and that's going to put your layer into a completely separate layer. So we're going to rename layer 1 your drawing, just so we know that's your drawing. And then we're going to change the overlay. This is where you can change your overlay. Change this to multiply. So what happens with multiply is when I do coloring on my image on a different layer, it's going to go behind the lines that I made. Alright. Okay, so now that you set up this is your drawing layer, it's a multiply. Now the next step you want to do is you want to go to image on the top and click on adjustments. And you want to go to color balance. Alright, and what we're going to do with the color balance is we're going to change the tones of our values, okay, of the lines that you made. Alright, now the reason why we're doing this is because we want to mimic the look of an underpainting. So if I type in underpainting in Google, just to give you some ideas on what underpainting is. But basically, this is kind of like the starting process of your painting. Okay, so it's using those values that we've talked about. Whoops. I just wanted to get a close up on one. So we can take a look at this one here. So basically it's just your values. You're gonna have more of like a yellow-ish tone for your brights. And then you're going to have more like browns and like different types of browns and burnt siennas for your other tones. Alright, just because when we add color to your image, Typically a lot of the shadows are going to be like grayish browns, so you want to have those tones ready for you to use because it's going to make things easier. So the mid-tones, I'm making it more red, more yellow, and you don't have to use a brown for your mid-tones. If you want, you can do more of like a blue. It's up to you. Alright, so I gotta go back a little bit. My video got clipped. But basically we're just going to add a reddish yellowish tone to it. You can add a different type of tone, but I do recommend doing like a brown, because those are like a lot easier to work with. So I'm just going to make it red yellow. I'm also going to change the shadows to red and yellow too, because it's going to make it more of give you more vibrant colors to use. I wouldn't use the highlight, but just the middle tones, shadows, and then you click OK. So this is going to give you more of like a brown tone to use to start with your coloring. Alright, so from here you're going to make 2 different layers. You're going to make a new layer by clicking down here on this paper next to the trash can. Alright, I'm going to tell this your color layer. Alright, and this is where we're going to start to lay out your colors. Okay, I'm actually going to make a palette on the very top, just so I have some colors to use. Now, we did talk a little bit about different color schemes that you want to use, but basically the rules that you want to follow. To find your colors, you're going to go Windows, Swatches, and then you're going to have all your colors you're going to need. Basically you want to stick with at least 4 colors, and then this brown that you're going to use to mix it with. But using all those different colors, or using those 4 different tones, like for example, I want to use split complementary for mine, so I'm going to use a blue here. So I'm just going to use a brush, just lay a blue over here, so I know what to work with the blue. And then we'll use some different tones of orange. So I'm going to use orange here. I'm going to use a little bit of the yellow orange, and then I'm going to use more of like a red orange. So I got my different tones here that I can use, but basically you want to stick with like 4 colors, but you can also do like different values for those colors. All right, but the only thing is, I don't want you to go too crazy with the colors. But like I have this blue here, and if I click on this brush here, or I click on this a swatch here, I can do like different types of blues. I can do like a dark blue, do like a very vibrant blue, or like a light blue. So you're not limited to just these 4 colors. There are different shades of it, especially if you go like a darker brown or orange. It's gonna make a brown. It's gonna make more of a tan color. So you got a lot of colors to pick here too. And since this is a yellow orange and red orange, you can use a little bit of red if you wanted to. Alright, but it's just a lot of colors you can use, but I wouldn't use too many colors. Like you don't want to use every if I go back to your swatches, I wouldn't use every color on this palette. That's the only thing I'm asking you not to do. Alright, but you just want to lay out your colors. Like for example, I might want to use this color here. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. Maybe I might want to use this for the skin tone. So under your color layer, this is where you're gonna start to do your coloring. Obviously, you're not gonna see too much coloring here because I already got a lot of the values that I need on the face. Alright, and also I will color at 30% at a time, just so you can see how the colors look when you build them up. Alright, but maybe I might want to do like a so I dropped orange. I'm gonna do like a darker brown. So I'm gonna do this for the hair. Oh, I gotta change this back to multiply. For some reason it changed back. Alright, so now I'm getting more like that brown color that I want. Alright, so this is just gonna be the color it in. And again, I'm doing that 30 opacity because I just want to color a little bit at a time just to see how it looks. Alright, so basically you just want to lay out your colors. Don't worry about the details right now. You just want to see how colors look as you're putting it on the paper. So I'm just gonna put this blue here, and maybe I wanted to use this light blue. See, like the more I built up, the more vibrant the blue gets. But I like this blue, so I'm gonna just eyedrop this blue here, and I'm just gonna continue using that same blue throughout the shirt. Okay, so I'm just, laying out these colors here. And then we'll go back to the skin tone here. So, I just want to do the skin tone everywhere. I think this is a nice light color to use for it. Alright, this brown, you see this brown's like really dark, so I'm gonna go with this lighter brown here, and I'm gonna go over that part of the hair again to just line it up a little more. So I'm just really just laying these colors. I'm not even worrying about how it looks. And this dark brown I'm gonna go with right here. Maybe you might want to go with like a darker skin tone. So there's a lot of different things you can do to just adjust it. Maybe some areas you can do like a little bit darker. So you can kind of think about like values with colors you can add to it. In case you didn't do it that well with your drawing, but maybe I might want to use more of like a red orange here on the lips. Make it pop out more. It looks like I need to have more like this orange. I usually like using like bright colors like the nose and the lips. Maybe I might want to use a little of the blue for the eyes. Obviously it's not showing that well because it's really dark now. Alright, so I'm just laying these colors out just real quickly. This is too dark, too light. So you gotta like keep mixing with it until you get like the color that you want. Might go a little bit darker actually. So this is like a person's hair. I'm just laying out these colors, I'm not really worrying too much about how it looks. I just really want to figure out what colors I want to use. So if you've ever done a painting before, we're just, laying washes of colors right now, just to figure out what we want to do with, the colors and how it looks. I'm not too worried about how it looks. It's just, maybe I want to use no, I want to use the brown here because I used the blue there. So just laying these colors out. I really do utilize the eyedrop tool because these, you don't want to ever use those like extreme colors. You just want to use like even like right here. I'm just eyedropping the hair from here. After that orange mixed in with that brown, I got that color that I wanted. So you can just reuse a lot of those same colors in your picture. Maybe I might want to use the same blue. You kind of get the idea. I might go with like more of a darker brown for here. But you get the idea though. I'm just going to show you a more finished version of this. If I can find it. Yeah, but you just want to like lay out your colors. This one I used blue, orange, blue, and I split complemented with the blue, green, and purple, green. Alright.